Hey y'all, Mr. Lopez here with some thoughts, some sort of brainstorming ideas for your mini essay. I usually try to make a video like this as long as there's time for any large written assignment for the semester. So mini essay, essay number one, essay number two. Just to sort of riff on directions you might go, give you some reminders, very brief videos. So just to be clear about thesis statements. So what I'm asking you for with your mini essay, the purpose of a college education, a super simple, direct, hopefully easy essay prompt. What is the purpose of a college education? The way I would think and the way I'm teaching you about thesis statements is that they're basically just your specific but succinct response to the essay prompt. So what is completely legitimate and what I would encourage you to do is to take the question, what is the purpose of a college education, and change it into an answer. And if you can make that answer specific, get it to about the 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 sentence range, that's your thesis statement. So if I were writing the essay, I would start for a thesis, I would formulate it something like this. The purpose of a college education is blank. And what I would be after then is to get that blank as specific as possible. So if I were tempted to say initially something like this, the purpose of a college education is to prepare people for jobs. To start, right? But to my mind, that's like a C thesis, C minus, D plus thesis. Better, getting toward the B, the A range, would be something like this. The purpose of a college education is to prepare people for jobs by doing blank and blank. And then I would want those blanks to be specific. The purpose of a college education is to prepare people for jobs by training them to do X, Y, and Z, and training them to do blank, blank, and blank in the future. Then you would have something that's very specific. And what you would do is take the specificity of your thesis statement, what I would encourage you to do for your mini essay and essays 1 and 2, take that thesis statement, get it as specific as possible, and use the specificity, the terms and phrases there, as roots for body paragraphs. So if you said, purpose of a college education is to train people by providing educational resources, that's in your thesis somewhere. You might have a paragraph that ties back to your thesis statement that focuses just on educational resources. What types? Give me some examples, that sort of thing. So you want a thesis statement that is, 1, a direct response to the essay prompt, 2, as specific as possible, and 3, directly linked, explicitly linked to every body paragraph that follows. So that if I just glanced at your essay and I said, okay, I see your thesis statement there somewhere in your introduction, and I gloss over each body paragraph that follows, I would say, oh, I know exactly why that body paragraph is here, because it connects to this term in the thesis statement. And then body paragraph 2, oh, I see that it links to this phrase in your thesis statement. And I could just pluck out words and phrases throughout the paper that echo back to your thesis. That's what you're after with a thesis statement, and that's the way you ensure that your whole essay is cohesive and it's coherent, and they all sort of link together, those body paragraphs, to form a whole support for your thesis. And your thesis responds to the essay prompt. So that's the way I would encourage you to think of a thesis statement, a direct answer to the question. As far as source material goes for this essay, remember you are not doing any research. So anytime you borrow material, which means for the most part quoting, but anytime you borrow material, quoting, paraphrase, or summarize, you should be doing it from our class readings. By the time your mini essays due, we will have read 5 class readings in the lessons leading up to the mini essay due date. And for this mini essay, you are choosing 3 of those 5 readings. So choose 3 of the readings we've done in class and use those to support your claims with examples and other claims from the readings in paragraphs throughout your essay. There's no right or wrong answer as far as how much support you need from readings, but a good range, a sort of sweet spot that I usually tell all my students to aim for is about 80% new material that is all your own ideas, your own examples, your own claims, new language, and 20% support. So 20% that basically amounts to quotations from readings that we did in class. I don't count these or measure. I don't produce some sort of ratio and say, oh, that's a C, that's a D, that's an A. But you should read your paper, and if you were taking on sort of the reader's role, if you were reading your own essay as a reader would, you should say, okay, I understand this is the author's paper, and they only used these quotations for support. They're not summarizing these. They're only telling me what I need to know from those readings to support their own ideas. Another way to think of it is, this is your paper, and your audience that you're writing for this mini essay and for essays 1 and 2, will be familiar with all of the readings you're quoting from. So you don't need to recap any of the readings. You're just using specific points and examples, claims and examples from the readings to support your own ideas. So we're working under the assumption that our audience has read everything we've read. Even if it's research material for essays 1 and 2, our audience has read everything that we've read. But what they haven't read is your writing, your essay, your mini essay this time, your essay number 1 and number 2 later on in the semester. So I want your ideas only supported by the readings. For an essay like this mini essay, it only has to be 2 full pages plus. So, I would say down to the bottom of page 2 at minimum, 2 plus to maybe 3 max. I don't really grade on a max. You can go overboard as much as you want, but minimum, you can lose a letter grade if you go less than the minimum. So 2 plus pages. I would say, 1 quote from each of the 3 readings that you choose would be enough. No more than 2, because then you're getting toward half of this 2-page paper is going to be quotations, and you don't want that. So I'd say 1 to 2 quotes from the 3 readings you choose would be about right. The mini essay, last thing, it's not one of the 2 major essays. So in English 112, we write 2 major essays, essay number 1 and number 2, and that's what we're getting to after this mini essay. And because we only write 2, they're worth a lot. Essay number 1 is going to be worth 25% of the course, and essay number 2 is worth 35% of the course, and that's a lot. And that's the last major assignment before the final exam. So the way to sort of approach this from student trying to get a good grade, what I would say is it's worth the equivalent of 50 points, which amounts to 5 10-point assignments or 10 5-point assignments. So basically a big chunk of your quiz average for the course. I would use it as sort of as like this. I'm doing my best, and I want to see how I do. Where do I stand in the course? Am I a super strong writer and I'm in good shape? Am I not quite as good as I thought I was, and I'm going to have to work my tail off and get lots of help for essay 1 and 2? Where do I sort of fit into the English 112 expectations? So do your best and then see how you do. I wouldn't slack because it's not one of the 2 major essays, because it's not going to give you a good feel of how much do you need to work and how much help do you need to seek for the major assignment. So I would do my best, write the best 2+ page essay I can on a relatively easy topic, the purpose of college, and then see how you do. It's worth 50 points. Not the end of the world. If you get even a D or an F, you can pull it up. But it'll give you a feel for how much effort do I need to put in this semester. A lot of people say this is where I get a feel for how does Mr. Lopez grade? Is he really tough? Is he easy? What is he looking for? Check out the rubric that's posted to Blackboard. It's the rubric I'll use to grade this mini essay and essays 1 and 2, and it breaks the grade into categories. You'll see what I'm looking for. And good luck, y'all. Don't wait till the last minute. You have until 11:59 p.m. on the due date to submit your mini essay, but of course, don't wait until that. The earlier you start, the more time you have to revise, to seek out help in the ILC or the Virtual Real Center, or to email me. So don't wait till the last minute. Best of luck, y'all. Enjoy the weekend, and let me know if I can help.